And thank you so very much for joining us and continuing to support us here for Black Futures Month 2022. This is Dejan Sneed here, founder of Subsume, and I thank y'all so very much for being a part of our programming. And what I wanted to do is create a new section and a new segment where we want to take a look at some of our best and brightest and find a continuous way to not only find out what they're up to with a futuristic look at the work that they have, but also set us in a space and a place that we can support their future endeavors and know exactly what to look for on the horizon. So part of the optimism of the future is knowing that good things are just around the corner. And with this next creator we're going to bring up, we have a historic legacy already in place and know that the future is bright for this young man. So with that, I'm going to give full on support and readjustment here for one of the most top 100 influential Africans in the world. I mean, I love that. I love that for you. So I have to keep saying that every time I see you, Mr. Roye Ocupe of Unique. And with that, just for those who have not had a chance to know about you and your legacy, please introduce yourself. I'm gonna give you all your credit up front.
Most definitely. Hi, everybody. My name is Roye Ocupe. I am the CEO and founder of Unique Studios. We are a entertainment company that does comics, animation, and slowly now we're trying to figure out our way into TV and film. But the thing for us is that all our stories are inspired by African history, culture, mythology. I was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria. So for very obvious reasons, this is something that's very important to me. One thing that's really exciting is that 2 years ago, well, a year and a half ago, it just feels like I can't even count the years anymore with everything that's going on. A year and a half ago, we signed a 10-book deal with Darkhorse Comics, which was just huge for us. And that has really, really taken us, into the stratosphere of this comic book industry and put us in places that, as a kid, I could only dream of. So really excited to, talk about some things that have happened in the past and what we're coming up with in the future. And just in general, I am so happy to be here. Yeah.
No, you always honor us with your time and your examples. So again, for Unique Studios to be really one of the great success stories, not only just from the crowdfunding space, which you were a very early adopter with crowdfunding and Kickstarter, and definitely paved the way and showed a constant and consistent model for success. So we want to thank you for that. But then likewise, it was just the consistency of your work. I feel like is also a legacy that I personally take and into great consideration. Right. Then that's one thing to do the work, but always to do great work, and then to do great work consistently is why you're one to always look to. And I think I speak for our independent comic community and the Subsume community in some, thank you for that. So with that, that's what we want to know. What's going on over there at Unique, and again, where you're in the middle of a 10-book deal, and you said, you got us with some legacy work already, with EXO, with the Malaika, and I was trying to think of the Iyanu, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So I was thinking that post came out. So I'll let the master speak. What's going on, man? We got this ahead.
Before I get into it, for me, it's always important to sort of just talk about personally just my journey. And if there's something that I can say that can help one person, I feel like my job is done, even above and beyond selling, books or anything like that. So I like that you mentioned the word consistency, because I think that's something that's very important to any endeavor, be it creative, be it comics, be it your job, whatever the case may be. I'm a big fan and a big believer that consistency usually triumphs anything else, whether that's talent, or whatever the case may be. And for me, that was one thing that I felt from the very get-go that I could control, right? I may not be able to control how many people buy my books. I may not be able to control what publisher or what studio likes my work. I may not be able to control how many people like me on social media. But one thing that I can control is continually putting work out there on a consistent basis, Because if you think about it, we live in a world that moves so fast right now, and people are just bombarded with so many things. And I feel like the people that do get recognized are the people that start and stay consistent for a very long time. So I want to advise really quickly anybody out there who maybe you're just getting into comics, animation, whatever the case may be, or you're trying to figure out, I'm stuck, I need to grow. Keep your head down, keep doing what you're doing and do that. Excellence is also very important. I feel like excellence combined with consistency is usually what gets people to where they, want to go. So I just wanted to make sure I put that out there. But in terms of Unique Studios, like I said, there's so many exciting things, that are happening. I'll take a little step back for people that don't, know a lot about Unique Studios. So we started out, I founded the company in 2015. And like I said, we focus heavily on stories, fantasy, superhero, sci-fi that are inspired by African history, culture, and mythology. My goal from day one has always been to empower African creatives and the creatives and the storytelling as well, which is one of the reasons why, I would say about 95% of the people that work on my books, like outside of me, the artists are all based back home in Lagos, Nigeria, where I was born and raised, because I think it's important for me to shine a light on the continent and the amount of talent, that's coming out from, there as well. But yeah, we over the last 5 years, we published over 10 graphic novels spread across our main titles: EXO, The Legend of Wally Williams, which is more like a sci-fi Afrofuturist story that takes place in a near-futuristic Lagos, Nigeria. It's funny, I'm gonna have to stop saying that because when I wrote it 5 years ago, it was based in 2025, and now we're in 2022. So it just sounds weird saying near future because that's just 3 years, but that's besides the point. But then, next thing we came out with was Malaika Warrior Queen, which is a historical fantasy epic story that's actually inspired by a real West African queen, Queen Amina of Zaza. And for me, one thing that I've always been proud of is not just figuring out a way to entertain people, but educate them at the same time. And I feel like my books bring both of those things. And then, one of the most recent and now, honestly, the most popular title that we've been able to release is Iyanu, Child of Wonder, which is this very, magical, high concept fantasy story that, is inspired by West African mythology, specific Yoruba culture, which is, my culture in Nigeria as well. So the great thing that happened is that we originally self-published these books. And then after a period of 5 years, Darkhorse took notice. And then we signed a deal with them to sort of republish his books, but now go after, republishing them, going into some new titles. So with that being said, Malaika Volume 1, EXO Volume 1, and Iyanu Volume 1 have now been released by Darkhorse. You can get that anywhere books are sold, online, in stores, Barnes and Nobles, Target, Walmart, your gas station. I'm only kidding. But yeah, it's everywhere, which is great. So, if you love titles like this, please go out and support them. But the thing that I'm really most excited about is that in April, we're going to be launching the first brand new title, not just under Darkhorse, but Unique Studios as well, which is The Windmaker, which was a fan favorite secondary character that was in Malaika that people have been screaming into my ears, like, when is this guy going to get his own book? Finally, that comes out, in April. And just to give you a little bit of a synopsis on that, it's a story that takes place in a fictional West African republic called Atala. And you have your main character who all of a sudden is imbued with this spiritual gifts to be able to manipulate the wind. And the twist is that he's actually the second in command. The chief of security for a dictator. And when he gets his powers, he realizes that he has to do better. And the book at the core of it talks really about the cost of blind loyalty. And what's that sort of can lead to in terms of the detriment of other people, in terms of just following people, blindly. And I think that's something that's very, very apropos to just everything that's going on with us right now, like in the world, and how we question our leaders and things like that, and how we try to be just more prudent with how we just give anybody, our loyalty as well. So that's really the exciting thing that's coming out, in April, that I feel like both old and new fans of Unique Studios would really appreciate as well. I'm gonna shut up right now because I can keep going.
No. This is what we want. We want the inside scoops right now. So that's great. So already with an April drop, and I know that, again, like you say, that time in getting your stories out is so precious. So congratulations on making it to that point. Obviously, to be able to diversify the unique-averse, right? To go ahead and bring that individual story in from there. Now, anything else that you got kind of on the hot plate for maybe comics or otherwise? I know obviously you got other endeavors.
So what I can talk about is that luckily, with everything that has happened for us, we're at the point now where we're starting to have some conversations with studios and people who are interested in the IP, for TV and film. Very early stages, but that's really exciting to be able to start this 5 years ago. Animation was personally my first love. One of the reasons I got into comics was to be able to create IP, tell the story my way, and then hopefully be able to graduate that story to other mediums while still doing the comics. So those are some exciting things that are going on. Unfortunately, I can't say too much about that. Hopefully, sometime in the future I can talk more about that. But one thing that's really exciting is that for the first time, I am creating a new story called The Asiri that takes place outside of the Unique universe. So the Unique universe is the core universe where all our titles so far are being released: Malaika, EXO, Iyanu, and the upcoming Windmaker. But this is a book that is a space opera that's inspired by West African mythology, specifically the Akan and the Ashanti. And this is, it's such a, this is a book that I'm so passionate about because it, one of my biggest things ever is Star Wars, right? And figuring out a way to create an epic world like Star Wars that's rooted in African history, culture, and mythology has been something that I've been working on for a very, very long time, because it's a vast world, right? You're not only talking about Earth, but talking about different planets and things like that. So for me, it's a story that's in the very early stages. I've shared a little bit on our social media, so you can check us out at Unique Studios on all platforms. But the series, something that I'm very excited about, and I can't wait to share more with people about where we're going with that.
Perfect. So you're again always got some good things coming up, and again, while we're proud and excited to not only see what's already been set, because there's a remastering of the original Unique release graphic novels through Darkhorse, correct? Yes,
thank you for mentioning that. In my just losing my trail of thought. Trying to say so much, I forgot to say that the books that are being re-released with Darkhorse, they are remastered. Some of them have actually all of them have updated lettering. Some of them actually we did brush up some of the pages, and in both Malaika and EXO, we added additional content. So Malaika has 2 one-shot comics, and one thing that I was actually really excited about is that this is a collector's edition, right? So what I did as a self-publisher, I had Malaika Part 1, 2, 3, and 4. What Darkhorse has done is that they put Part 1 and Part 2 together to create Malaika Volume 1, and they've put in Part 3 and Part 4 to create Malaika Volume 2. Malaika Volume 1 in it of itself is 336 pages. Wow. It's just like I said, it's a collector's edition. And not only does it have all these bonuses in terms of, never before seen art and sketches. I also did an interview in the book that's exclusive to the book that talks about this is really what inspired, the Malaika series. This is really why I went into comics. These are some of the things that I did as a self-publisher that I hope other people can learn from. And the same thing, again, is in EXO Volume 1. It's a combination of my self-published Part 1 and Part 2. And then we also threw in another one-shot into that. And there's also bonus content, bonus interviews. So I always tell people, even if you've bought the Unique versions of these books, I encourage people to check out the Darkhorse versions, because you're getting a whole lot of things in there for a great price as well. The Darkhorse versions are definitely remastered. They look great, they read great, And it's something that I'm super, super proud of, and I can't wait for more people to start to, because even now people are coming from different parts of the world. I have emails from the UK, Australia, people saying, wow, finally I can walk into a comic book shop, I can walk into a bookstore, I can go into a WH Smith in Paris, and I see Unique Studios books. So yeah, I encourage people, if you've been an old fan, a new fan, go out there and check the books out and decide for yourself whether or not it's for you.
Oh, it will be, and I know I can personally and professionally vouch for the not only the content, but understanding that, particularly for the remasters, just Darkhorse really just sets the precedent for graphic novels and just their hardcover prints editions. So I personally cannot wait, and I'm very excited to get in on those. So just one last time, just where can people follow and find and support you for your work here and forward?
Yeah, so you can check me out on at Unique Studios. That's spelled YOUNEEK, and then the word studios. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. You can definitely check us out there, or just go to the website uniquestudios.com as well. We also have a YouTube channel, so just search Unique Studios in YouTube. We have a lot of behind the scenes, like exclusive videos we do on our titles and things that you wouldn't necessarily see on social media. Our YouTube channel, dives deeper.
Thank you so very much for being a part of Black Futures Month 2022. My name is Daniel Sneed, founder of Subsume.